And then one day I discovered Valiant Comics on the shelf. They were producing, they were relaunching Magnus Robot Fighter and Solar Man of the Atom.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my God. I was like, this stuff is freaking great.
Yeah.
And so I just, for the hell of it, in one of my Carpet Bomb mailings, I sent out some of my samples on a Monday, and Don Perlin from Valiant called me on Wednesday. I didn't even know the mail worked that fast. So Don called me and said, we want you to work.
Was Don the guy that co-created like Moon Knight? Is that the same guy?
Same
guy. Okay.
He's a Marvel. He's a longtime Marvel guy. He worked on. I remember him most myself on Werewolf by Night. That's where Moon Knight made his
came from,
first appearance. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. So he hired you. So Valiant was your first job. That's
my
awesome.
First gig. Yep.
What book did they put you on? Was it Rye?
Yeah, Rye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, that's the one.
Do you remember Rye?
I do remember Rye. I was that when Valiant first hit, like I was probably collecting comics for maybe a couple of years at that point. So I had no idea till years later that Magnus and Solar were originally like Gold Key comic characters from back in the day. I thought they were just part of, this new Valiant universe that was starting. And I remember like, I remember like the first Magnus had the mail away or something. There was like a mail away for issue half or something. Yeah. Wasn't it? Or issue 0 was like a new thing. I remember that. I don't know if I mailed away for it. I think I kept the issue with the coupon in it or something. You had to get like 2. I don't remember. It was like 2 coupons or something and mail it in to get the issue or something.
The whole story about that is like an improv, like Johnny's Black Covers. Like originally they had an artist planned for Magnus.
Okay.
And something happened. He couldn't continue working on the book. And so Shooter decided he wanted a regular team on the book. So they put that whole issue aside and restarted Magnus with a new team. Art Nichols and Bob Layton inks and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
So they had that whole issue on the side that was abandoned and kind of retooled it into a promotional giveaway and created the Zero.
What a brilliant idea. Jim
Great,
Shooter was brilliant. I heard he was a dick to work for, but brilliant dude. Like just, marketing. And because I remember that like Valiant was huge when I first started. Was reading them, and like they were big for like 3 years before things started kind of falling apart. Like
don't get me don't ask me about specific time
periods. I won't.
I just have like a cloud. I have a floating cloud reference. This happened, then this, then this.
Right. Well, no, I remember they had like
dates.
They had all these different books, and they were all great characters. And then they had their first big crossover, which was about, I don't know, maybe about 10 issues in on each of the books.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they did the thing with Image. And then after that, I think it was when things kind of went south. But so you were on Rye. Did you create any of the characters for Valiant, like while you were there?
Yeah. There were a couple of supporting cast members in Rye.
Okay.
One character's name was Kazuyo Nakadai, I think. She was the scenario of Rai was he was the guardian of Japan, but there were 2 warring factions of Japan. So Rai was this kind of guardian character caught in the middle of these fighting things, and Makiko was one of the rebels, if I remember right.
Okay.
And then there was a whole slew of other characters, minor characters. And then I created the 2 Harbingers, Livewire and Stronghold with Bob Layton, and launched Secret Weapons. I'm the co-creator of Secret Weapons.
Yeah, they brought that back too in the newer Valiant like a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Livewire is a great character. She's stood the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
Even when the newer Valiant stuff, she was pretty cool. So
yeah,
I don't know if they'll ever do anything with it, but like that would be a great. Would you get some royalties if they ever did? Possibly.
If they return my emails, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I keep hearing that they're going to make like a Harbinger movie and all sorts of Valiant related characters.
Well, I think
so
that's
you never know, I guess,
wasn't
right?
that falling apart though? Like I think the Bloodshot movie killed everything because it was so bad and.
Well, I think it was actually it was rights related though, because I think it was Sony had Bloodshot, but I think another studio has Harbinger. So I think there may have just been some mix and match there or something like that. But
did you see
you
that
never know,
movie,
Joe? We'll see you on the red carpet sooner or later, right?
Did you see the Bloodshot movie? It was kind of
I couldn't make it through.
It's devoid of action, and it's like for some reason 2 hours long. Like I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, Vin Diesel was fine, but it's like there's nothing happens in the movie. Like
it started with a bunch of cliches, action movie cliches, but then about halfway through, they revealed that these cliches come from they're implanted, right?
Right.
So I was like, dude, you lost me with your first half, and so you don't get me for the second half. I'm sorry, I don't care how good the twist is, but we're done here.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't like Punisher type characters, guys with guns running around going bananas. Right. I don't think they make good comics, superhero comics at least. Okay. I respect everybody who disagrees with me. That's perfectly fine, but that's not my scene in superhero comics. So I don't even like Bloodshot to begin with.
Because they're like more like normal guys. Like I kind of know where you're coming from. Like when you read a comic, you want like super heroics, you want like powers, so I kind of get like when you get the normal guy, you're like, it's
not so
like
much
when you see Hawkeye on a team, it's like, oh god, he can shoot.
No, I love Hawkeye. Awesome. No, I can't go there with you because I fucking love Hawkeye. He's probably.
But you know what I'm getting at, like where it's like you see a normal guy and it's just
the problem with those kind of stories is they're all the same. And so it's on, if some guy is taking revenge, or the end of the story is going to be somebody's going to get shot by the Punisher. And so it's on you to it's on the writer. This is a lot of work, in my opinion. It's on the writer to create a unique context that this operation is going to go through, right? Okay. So I don't read a lot of stories where that entertains me, where that context is grabbing me. So that's where I go. But I'm all for the underdog, the everyman, the no powered guy, who's going up against this giant thing. That's probably my favorite theme of anything. But it's just that I haven't read a Punisher type story that floats my boat. That's all. That doesn't mean people can't have every issue of the Punisher or Bloodshot,
right,
or whatever. It's just not my thing. It's not my thing.
Right.
Yeah. So how did besides Livewire and Stronghold, was there anything else you created at Valiant?
Probably. Well, I'm sure they had villains, right? Okay, so the Speed Shots, there were characters called Speed Shots.
Did you create Harada? I know he's like the big Valiant guy.
That was Harbinger. Yeah. That was a Harbinger thing. The Speed Shots were prototype Bloodshots that didn't succeed. They were injected with the nanites, but they kind of burned out fast. So it created Speed Shots. Let's see, there's a character called Scatterbrain in issue 4. He's like a Hannibal Lecter type who ate brain tissue and stuff. There's a Ninjak villain called Scratch. I love that guy. He's totally getting reused in my future.
Nice.
But he was
they're not using it, right?
He was like the Ninjaks opposite. They both trained together. Like Mordo to Doctor Strange. That kind of thing.
Gotcha.
They both kind of came up
opposite.
Yeah, they both came up together. One went this way, one went.
Doctor Doom to Mr. Fantastic, stuff like that. Yeah, cool. Definitely.
Yeah, and let's see. Wow, you got me really.
Adam Warlock is saying Valiant was great in the early days. They went downhill when Acclaim bought them. Yeah, I remember that. Like when they tried to relaunch again. tried to make video games off of everything.
I did some stuff for Acclaim too. Now that you mention it, thank you.
Did you when they did that relaunch? Yeah. That was like mid '90s, I think, mid to late '90s, somewhere around there.
Now, when Acclaim stepped in, did you notice that there was like a lot of corporate oversight that may have helped like kind of sync things at the time?
I was on my way out when Acclaim started to move in. So
is that when you moved on to like Marvel and DC from that point on?
Dude, I was on a sacred mission to draw Spider-Man.
Nice.
And Valiant was a nice place to kind of settle in and
get
learn
your feet
the craft
wet.
and sharpen up.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was a freaking boot camp. I always say that I learned more at Valiant in a year than I did at 4 years in school, because I wasn't working at a Macy's. I wasn't working full time. I was working, 24/7 in the trenches. Okay, I need to learn how to draw. I don't understand the shoulder. Throw myself in an anatomy class on weekends and figure out how to draw a shoulder. It was, and then I had, these mentor figures. Shooter, I can't thank Jim Shooter enough for the amount of time that he spent with me, and how he taught me how to tell a story. Bob Layton, just learned a lot. He's really good with characters and plot ideas and stuff like that, besides his inking skills. And Barry Windsor Smith, I owe him my career. So these are three giants in the field, and I can't say enough about it. So these guys were accessible to me while I was just like soaking all this shit in. So you talked to Bob. They were also
former Marvel guys too, right?
Most of them? You talk to Bob or Jim. If they still, I know Bob still remembers me, but Jim, when I would see Jim after he left Valiant and after I had left Valiant, I'd see him at shows, or one time we shared a bus ride together. He was kind of remembering me. He said I was a pain in the ass. You talk to Bob Layton, he goes, he was a pain in the ass. And I was a pain in the ass because I was this guy. I was so focused on becoming a decent professional comic book artist. I was asking questions all the time.
Gotcha. So they equated that
for advice. Yes, I was probably a pest. And I would probably complain when something didn't come around, that didn't come my way or something like that, or didn't work out. I'd speak up about it. I had one thing in my head, and that was draw Spider-Man and get great.